of sorrow and sense of loss that we take part in this service here today. In the death of Eleanor Roosevelt, the world has suffered an irreparable loss. The entire world becomes one family, orphaned by her passing. Her deep concern for the welfare of all peoples, her understanding of their problems, and her efforts in their behalf gained this most remarkable woman a permanent place in the hearts of all, devoted to advancing the cause of freedom and peace with justice for all people. Her great sympathy for the homeless and the refugee made the underprivileged and the downtrodden her special concern. Never have I known her to raise her voice in anger against any of the jibes and the unfair stories that one heard from time to time. Christ's teaching on the brotherhood of man was no mere pious sentiment with Mrs. Roosevelt. It governed all her relationships with mankind. She was too honest and too civilized to spurn any person because of the accident of race or religion. She was a follower after truth, and the truth which she found made her free, and others as well. As Christians, we must pray at all times for the dead as well as for the living. Now, we as Americans pride ourselves on being a land of self-made men. Yet who is among us who does not owe much to those who have gone before? No Christian stands in his own strength alone. Our country is a temple, built not of stones and mortar, but of people, of human lives. Mrs. Roosevelt is part of this temple.
Was here in the White House where she became familiar with the many problems during her long tenure in this House, the great problems of our country and of our world. After she left here, as you know, Mr. President, her activities, her interest, her dedication to the public good did not end. In fact, it grew and grew from year to year. It may be some comfort to you, sir, to know that the White House is not the end, and that you may find something to do when you leave here, whenever that may be.
Governor, we have this morning signed into law the bill which makes permanent the Eleanor Roosevelt Foundation. I think we're all particularly indebted to Governor Stevenson for his willingness to assume a central responsibility in making this foundation a reality. Mrs. Roosevelt lived in the White House longer than any other woman. She also made her experience in the White House a vivid one, in that her influence spread far beyond its walls, but to all parts of the country. And her identification was constant. Her concern was permanent. for the great causes which were identified with her husband's life and which we identify with the best of America, a concern for her fellow citizens, particularly those less fortunate. We're delighted, Governor, to participate in this kickoff. We hope the American people will join in giving not only large gifts, but also very small ones as a mark of the universal appreciation for her long work.